Hey everybody, I'm John. I collect cards. Hope you're doing well. It's Sunday, January 7th, 2024. I mentioned the year because in this video, I'm going to talk about my approaches to the hobby for the coming 12 months or for these next 12 months. Kind of outline what I see as the path for myself going forward in the hobby and kind of where my collecting journey might go. I'm really excited about it actually. Can't wait to really dive into the year here in terms of buying, maybe some selling, and this channel as well. So I'm going to show a few cards here as well in this video. So I hope you stick around. I'm going to turn the phone around and start talking behind the phone. All right. If I had kept the phone in front of me on that intro any longer, my head probably would have disappeared off the bottom of the screen since I was holding it and not having it on the tripod. Sometimes I just get a little lazy like that and just want to crank out an intro if I'm going to be on camera for a bit. So I did there. Took a few takes too to get the angle right, and it still wasn't even right. It sufficed for today. But like I said, I'm going to talk about my approaches for this year. And first off, I'll talk about these cards in a second, actually. So let me just go ahead and I wrote up a couple of paragraphs to kind of segue or get this started, so to speak. So my hobby approach for 2024, and I'm starting with the word approach, actually, and not specifically not mentioning goals or strategies. It's an approach. So above all else, I want to keep my eyes open to opportunities this year. You never know when they'll pop up, and you have to be ready. For me, I'm finding that large goals, as thoroughly as I've enjoyed and continue to find rewards in the quest, for me, goals that span months or years can feel a bit limiting. Part of the thrill of my hobby experience, since I've been back in the hobby since I got back in 2020, part of that thrill is exploring a card or cards that may come to mind on any single day. And so, they might have been in the back of my mind, kind of filed away, and they come to the front of my mind one morning, and I might just, poke around later on that night when I have some time to sort of just explore. So, in the end, it's pretty simple. With the understanding that funds are finite, I seek to add what I consider to be wonderful cards to my collection to enhance my enjoyment of America's pastime. Simple as that. And along with that, comes the thought of perhaps building at least some value over time. That last paragraph there, it's almost could be considered I wouldn't call it a mission statement, but it kind of speaks to kind of how I'm approaching this year and maybe going forward. And I thought it was kind of good to get that down on paper, actually. So with that in mind, let me just talk about these three autographs real quick. They're all from 2019 Topps Brooklyn collection. I really like the design of those autographs from that year. And I picked up the Eloy Jimenez a couple of weeks ago. And I'm chalking this up as an opportunity. I just, happened to come across, I was looking at 2019 Brooklyn collection autos, because I really like the design. And saw this one for Eloy. It was marked down quite a bit. Got a good offer on it, actually. I was following it. That's right. I was watching it and then got a really good offer from the seller. So who was looking to part ways with it. And I thought it was, in the end, a decent deal. I don't think we've seen Eloy Jimenez's best year yet. He just needs to stay healthy, and hopefully he can, really get on track with that this year for the White Sox. And down the road, if he's in a White Sox uniform a few years from now, or if it's with another team, I think this guy is still going to make waves in this league. Tons of talent, and so I picked up a rookie auto of his from a really cool autograph design set, and it's actually his uniform number as well. It's number 74 out of 75, which, I've talked about numbers before in a past video. Little things like that sometimes float my boat a little bit. So I thought it was kind of a cool little auto to pick up. What I really like about this design is from this year. Here's my Jorge Posada. I love this one. He's got such a great signature. It reminds me, or it's very evocative of the typography. Is evocative of those mid-50s classic sets, 54, 55, and 56. The typography, if not identical, it's really similar. And so it's inspired, I think, by those sets to a large degree. So there's my Posada number to 75. Here's my Juan Soto. It's my only Juan Soto autograph. This one's numbered to 75 as well. This is his second year from the year they won the World Series, the Nationals. So those are, just thought I'd trot those out as a backdrop here, with mentioning again how Eloy was kind of an opportunity. Wasn't looking for it, saw it in a feed for eBay, and thought, you know what? And I already have a Jimenez auto. I have one auto of his from, not a rookie year auto, but I thought, you know what? I wanted to pursue a rookie auto for him, so I did. And I think I got a pretty good price for it. So I'm going to talk about a couple of goals, though, that I am carrying into this year, and that I'm going to carry with me this year. And so I'll try to run through the rest of this video pretty quickly. They're kind of bullet pointed, actually, for the most part, on the kind of notes that I'm working with here. But, the first primary goal is to complete my 1978 Topps Hall of Fame run. I need 7 cards now to finish that. I keep meaning to do a video for an update, and next thing I know, I'm picking away and finding another one of the last batch of cards. It is down to 7. I don't think I'm going to be getting another one before I would put out a video to give an update on that and share the latest ones I've gotten. But needless to say, most of the last 7 are pretty big. But I do look forward to sharing that update with you. And that's kind of my main goal, is to complete that. And the fact that it's down to 7 cards from what was a 55 card list is, it's kind of nice. Speaking to the intro there I gave about those larger goals, where sometimes I just found myself like too focused on them, where I almost built this goal up and proceeded apace almost too quickly. I think I didn't need to go all in that quickly on it, and so I felt like at times it was enjoyable as all heck, don't get me wrong, I love it, and it's my first ever set, 78, and I actually don't have a card in front of me to show you, but I kind of want to go away from that a little bit this year, and we'll see where that leads me. But so beyond that 78 goal, the other kind of, I will call it a goal. I think I called it a hope actually in a recent video, but I think I've upgraded it to a goal. I really would like to pick up my second playing era Jackie Robinson this year. I only have one of his cards from his playing days, 1954 Topps. It's graded a 2 by SGC, so it's not a great example, but it's a good enough example for me. I love it. So we'll see which one, I may be able to come across this year. I think I'm probably going to carry that goal with me to the National. And even if at the National the prices would be probably a little bit more than where you pay online in an auction, good chance of that. The experience of maybe picking up a really nice one within my budget, but maybe I can find a 3, in a particular year. And one year I have my eye on. I've got the 1953 Topps number 1 kind of on my mind. It's a card I think is really fun. It's a great image of him. I like that it's number 1 in the set too, because it adds a little bit of kind of extra oomph, I think, to the card. It's it's got that Brooklyn highway or whatever that is in the backdrop of that card, which I really think that's what it is. It's just a great card, and so that's one I have my eye on. But if it turns out another of his cards turns out to be the one, that'd be great. But I would call that a goal, actually. I would love to pick up another Jackie this year from his playing days. And then a couple of other things I jotted down. I realized I don't have a 1960s, let alone a 1950s Roberto Clemente. I only have 2 playing days cards of his from 70 and 73. I do have one 60s card where he is among the players on it, but it doesn't really count as a Clemente card per se, but it's this card here. I do have the 63 Topps Buck Blasters. I had forgotten that I had this card, but I think it's actually pretty nice. I might get it graded. I just took it out of the top loader that I had it in, that actually had the price tag from the LCS I had gotten it from. I think it had $20 on it, and I think that's what I paid for this, was $20. But I think I might send this off to SGC later this year. So, off-center down a side, off-center bottom. I think it's a decent card. The image quality itself looks really nice, and Clemente himself looks great on that. That is a pretty nice card. So this could be going off to Boca Raton later this year to get the tuxedo treatment. But again, that's my only 60s Clemente at the moment, and or with him on it, and it's not even really a Clemente card. So I might look to try to rectify that this year too. And then kind of the other vintage goal, I guess, would be, and it's again not really a goal in this case, just Mays and Koufax. If I come across good opportunities to add to my collection, that was my notes here in the way a little bit. If an opportunity for another Mays and Koufax presents itself, I'm gonna pursue it and see where that leads, for sure. So those are kind of like top tier things I have in my mind. Other things, I do have a couple of Hall of Famer autograph goals that I'd like to pick up this year of Hall of Famers that I don't have. Top of that list I think would be Derek Jeter. I don't have a Jeter auto. There's a chance, it's probably a good chance I'm gonna look. My birthday's in February. And whenever I buy a card for myself, it's always my birthday, I guess you could say. But the last two birthdays I've had, I have specifically sought Yankee autos. 2 years ago, I got Aaron Judge. Last year, his rookie auto from Topps Tribute, and last year I picked up a Don Mattingly from '84 Donruss, graded as well from PSA on that one. So I think I might actually poke around for a Jeter. Now I'm not going to look for his rookie auto by any means. Partly because of budget, I'm sure, but also because of 90s cards. Mid-90s cards are just not my thing. I just don't find them interesting. And, what's considered a Jeter rookie, he's not even close to the bigs. He's so deep in the minors still. It's like, that doesn't really intrigue me. So I'll pick up something probably after retirement, something more recent. But I'm thinking maybe something from 2020 when he got voted into the Hall of Fame, or possibly 2021 when when the induction ceremony actually happened, or enshrinement ceremony actually happened. So I might look at those years where he was signing and see what I can find. So that's one name. And the other two names I'm looking for Hofer autographs this year, Bob Gibson and Mike Schmidt. Those are two that I have looked around from time to time to see if the right opportunity presents itself. And I've come close on Gibson a couple of times, and I just haven't fully followed through on it. And Schmidt, I've sort of looked around and just kind of, I'm surprised at how high Schmidt's prices can get. So, but either way, I'm hoping to find maybe both of their autos this year too. Examples that'll work for me. Anything else goal wise? If I check anything off on my VCP want lists this year, fantastic. Not really goals; they're just kind of there. I'll keep them in mind for sure. It's always fun to look around, and my VCP experience has been fun. It definitely was overdue for me signing up for that. So very glad in retrospect, in hindsight, that I did plunk down the yearly subscription on that a few months ago. And then a couple of in terms of pre-war, this last year in 23 was the year I dived into pre-war, and I picked up a handful of tobacco cards, T205 and T206. I just did one T206 and 3 T205s, and then a couple, from a few years later. I do think this year I might keep my focus more on the 30s sets, and maybe into the 40s as well. So maybe that might extend post-war into before the 50s, but maybe 48 Leaf, 49. 48, 49 Leaf, 49 Bowman, even like the, I think it's 48, that swell set, those like black and white photographs that they use. Like there's a couple of cards there that are interesting that I might look at. I don't have them on my want list, but one of those in particular I kind of really like is the Ted Williams All-Star Game Homer that's got Joe DiMaggio in the image as well. That'd be sort of a way to say I have a Joe DiMaggio card. So excuse me there. It is kind of a cool card. But I think I am going to keep my focus from pre-war more on the 30s this year. Although for T205 John McGraw, which is on my want list, kind of presents itself, I come across it, then obviously I'd have to think about that. In terms of SGC vintage card submissions this year, my plan this year is to try to do them monthly, but for each one I'm only going to send out 5 cards. So that will kind of stretch out my grading budget across the year, and it'll provide more content for the channel. It's kind of how I'm seeing it. So, and since it's only 5 cards, I'll do each video just once, where I'll show the cards first before I send them in, and then when I get them back, I'll do the reveal. But it'll be all in the same video. So, but my aim for that is one a month. And since I just did a grading reveal of modern cards, I probably will wait till that first reveal be in February. So I'm probably gonna send something out to SGC in a couple of weeks. And then one last goal kind of really is my approach for the national. You know, I might go to a card show or two locally before then, but I'm trying to go down a saving, definite saving strategy. I'll call this one a strategy. I'm definitely looking to build that budget up for late July this year, and try to bring a little bit bigger of a budget. Now that I've put my I waded into the water. I didn't just put toes in the water last year. I made my way in. Had a great experience, but now kind of getting to experience a huge show, the biggest one in the country, for the first time. Now I'm I'll bring that Jackie Robinson goal with me probably, and we'll see where that goes. I'm going to bring a couple of graded cards with me here, from here as well, and maybe I can use those as trade chips, etc., or to work down the cost of a card. So we'll kind of see where that goes. And then one more note I'll make is that I'll explore, try to do some different things on this channel that I'm thinking about. A couple of ideas. Not really ready to share anything, and honestly they probably wouldn't be that earth-shattering, to be honest. More thematic, I think, content, some themes that I'm thinking about. Maybe do some running monthly posts on a particular subject, or wouldn't call it a podcast or anything, but who knows. We'll see where that goes. But those are some strategies that I have for going into 2024, and we'll see where the journey takes me. And a lot of this is especially for this piece, me doing these videos and having the opportunity to talk about it and stuff. I have you to thank. So thank you for kind of in that way coming along for the ride. So I look forward to sharing cards throughout the year, maybe sharing a few stories too, and we'll see you on the hobby trail. Take care. Enjoy the week ahead.